Howdy everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be discussing an update on Project R. You'll also be seeing my cat Bear here. He is very playful today, so he will probably be making many interruptions in this video. It's been a while since we talked about Project R, and that's bad because that is the main purpose of this channel. So we are going to talk about it today to give y'all an update. At the end of November, because November was NaNoWriMo, or National Novel Writing Month. Blah. I wrote 50,000 words. I think I ended November 30th with 50,087. And I had written 15 chapters of a book with that. The first 15 chapters. Since then, I kind of took a little bit of a break because that was a lot of work in November, and I was like, ooh, maybe need to take a break. And yes, Bear, we all know you're playful. So I took a little bit of a break, and then of course December holidays. I wasn't doing much writing in December. So since then and today, the time of filming, it is January 14th. I have written 10,000 words since then, and I am either halfway or towards the end of chapter 17. I'll be continuing working chapter 17 today, and hopefully get it finished within the next few days. Hi. So, yeah, I haven't done a lot of work. Bear, can you not block the camera, please? I'm so sorry. My cat. My original goal was by the end of January to have written an extra 25,000 words. And so we've only done 10,000 of that 25, so there's 15,000 left to go. And after today, there'll be 16 days. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make that, but we're going to try very hard. I'm also starting school this coming week, so that will take up a chunk of my time. And with the program I'm in, I have to take two big exams that are not in like the classroom. They're exams. They're exams that are built by the state, and I have to go pay for them and take them at a testing center. So the first one, I have to have a passing test score by April 1st, and basically either in a week or two, I will start studying for that exam. So yeah, that will also take up my time, but we are going to try as much as possible to write another 15,000. If I only write 10,000, it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to kill myself over it. Nothing like that. Kill myself. That's really harsh. I'm not gonna, be upset with myself. Let's say that. I will not be upset with myself if I don't make that extra 15,000. So, anyways, the state of Project R. I would say it's going pretty well. Chapter 16 was difficult to get through, and I think that's honestly why the progress has been so slow recently. So I basically was almost done with chapter 16, and then basically you can break chapter 16 down into 3 basic scenes, and I decided that it would be better if scenes 1 and 3 were switched. So I did that, and that took time and some rewriting and working, and so I was deleting word counts and then adding them back. So yeah, that did not help me make actual progress, but I feel better about chapter 16 now than I did before. So I think it was good, but yeah, it has definitely slowed me down. As far as like total length of the novel, I've been thinking about it more, and I think it's going to be around 40 chapters. So I'm in chapter 17 now. I think it'll be around 40 chapters. That feels about right. And I mean, that number might go up, it might go down. The good thing is I've been thinking more about editing. And if you've watched, I think I've mentioned it before in one of my other videos, that I really, I'm not that excited for editing. I really just like writing fresh things. So, editing's like, oh, yay, I get to go edit. Woo. But it's like, you need to do it, but it's just not as exciting as when you're first writing those scenes and getting to know your characters and the world that you've created. But I've been thinking about editing, and I think I have ironed out like a decent plan for how to approach it, instead of just reading it and be like, oh, I just want to change a few words in this sentence. There we go. I need to probably consider the structure of each chapter and more of outlining the character development. So for me, I am a discovery writer. Some people call it a pantser. I don't really plan that much at all. I will think about scenes in my head, and I'll think about the world, and I'll think about character names and that sort of thing, but I will not sit there and outline scenes. I will end up rewriting them. So I'll have in my mind a general concept of like certain events that have to happen, and I will write the story from that. So I have like a very basic skeletal structure. Nothing concrete, definitely nothing for each chapter. It's just a couple of key events to get the characters from the beginning of the novel to the end of the novel. So I think that for editing, since I don't do all that stuff at the beginning of the pre-writing stage, I should do more of that at the end. And I think that will serve me well. So that is my current goal, is to do basically like backwards outlining. So outlining the stuff that's already been written and seeing if something is out of place, or maybe needs to be a smoother transition, or if some chapter is just not working. It really just feels like an oddball in the outline. So that is my current goal. I still think I can get this first draft written by the end of May. I definitely think I can. So we are still shooting for that goal. And let's see, other updates. I'm going to be sitting down to write today. And hopefully, I don't know if I'll finish chapter 17 today, but we will try. And what else is there? It's also very cold outside. That's an important update. I woke up this morning and got ready to go outside, and it was 26 degrees outside. So that's not fun. I live in Texas, by the way, so that is very cold for normal Texans to experience. That is quite cold. I think it's 29 right now, so it hasn't even warmed up that much. Like, it was 26 around 8 a.m., and it's 29, and it's 3:30 in the afternoon. That's not that great. It's supposed to be very, very cold for the next few days. Possible snow. Probably more likely just be ice, but I may not be able to go to work tomorrow. And hopefully my pipes don't freeze, because I live in a Pure and Beam. Pure and Beam? Is it Pure and Beam? Pure and Beam? I live in a house on stilts. It is built up off the ground. And so that means that all the pipes, they don't run underneath the ground, they run above the ground, which is more of an issue for insulating them, because the earth generally helps to keep the pipes warm and keep them from freezing, and I have to rely on wrapping them really well, the best I can. So we're going to hope that those don't burst and I go without water for several days. I'm also running the heat. It's set for 58, and it is holding it at 58, which is nice. But I will also... Bear. Seriously? Walking in front of the camera. I will also probably try to start a fire. As you know, or if you've watched any of my previous videos, I am not a great fire builder. I have not had much success in building fires. So I will try to build a fire. Or maybe my fiance might stop by and build me a nice fire and stick around for a little bit. We shall see. Anyways, I just wanted to give y'all an update on Project R and where we are with that. I think it's going well. I really do. And I'm excited for y'all to one day get to read it. I really, really am. And I hope that all of you guys buy the book and enjoy it. And I do plan to release more of these updates on a regular basis. I don't know how often I'm going to do that. It kind of depends, I guess, on how quickly I'm writing them and how, often I have things to say. This kind of felt like a small update. I'm at 60,000 words. And end of November, it was 50,000. So I haven't written that much in a month and a half. But hopefully I will be writing more and have more to share with y'all about where we're at. I have also been considering renaming a character. That's an update. I don't think I'll do it in this draft. I really don't want to just midway through chapter 17 start calling this character by a different name. I mean, I guess it would make it easier in the editing stage to not have to go through so much of the book and, make sure all the names are changed over. But I also haven't completely made the decision to change the name. So we'll see. There are a couple inconsistencies because there are definitely two things that I changed. One is the name of a festival that the character is actually going to go to later. So it's kind of mentioned just a couple times so that it's in people's heads. And then we'll get to see it. Where is that? Maybe towards the 2/3 of the way through mark. That festival will happen. And then the other thing is there's these two terms. They're kind of positions, like titles that men hold. And one is basically a lord and the other is a knight, but they're called different things. And I got the terms switched. And then I decided to keep them after the switch because I liked it better. So, yeah, those are things that I'll have to go back and fix later. That'll be for sure in the editing stage. I've also I have been reconsidering whether to self-publish or traditionally publish. And I have not made that decision. I've been listening to more YouTubers and ones that particularly self-publish. And, it's not a bad way to go. It really isn't. You retain more rights to your work, which obviously anyone would like to retain more rights. But there is a lot more legwork that you have to do, and I don't like the fact that the marketing is like all on you to get this done, to try and get readers to buy your book. And sure, depending on what company I guess you self-publish through, they would probably do a little bit of marketing for you to try and sell your book because they are printing you copies. But yeah, I haven't fully made up my decision. I like the idea of traditionally publishing because I feel like I would not worry as much. But I also like the idea of retaining more rights to my work. I don't think that I should get a 10% cut of something that I put so much time into and the company just works with me on editing it like, oh yeah, it's good to go, let's print it. They do they do a lot. They do help you get your book, fully published, and they help you market it and stuff, but they don't do as much as the author does. And sure, I think sometimes they go up to 20% royalties. I think it's between 10 and 20%. That's still not a lot. That's very, very minimal. If anything, I think the author should at least get 40%. I would like for it to be 50-50. I think that's better, but at least 40%. And if you self-publish, I think you can retain up to 70% royalties. That is a big difference, a huge difference. So I haven't fully made up my mind. And I had before. I was like, yes, I want to traditionally publish. And now I'm like, I'm on the fence again. So we may end up self-publishing. I guess I would feel better about self-publishing if this YouTube channel takes off at some point and I actually get a pretty decent following. If I had like 100,000 subscribers, or even if I was having just 100,000 views on my videos, then I probably would self-publish because I would feel better, even if just half the people who watched a video where I was like, oh yeah, I'm publishing my book, they might all, like half of them might go pre-order it or one day purchase it. And that is a lot of purchases. But as of right now, this YouTube channel is very new and it's very small, which is okay. I'm fine with it. It's not meant to be the hugest thing in the world. It would be nice if it grew, but it's not meant to be huge. This is more to keep me like on track. And what is the word? It's not responsible. Yes, Bear. He is meowing at me. I don't know if you can hear him or not, but he wants a lot of attention. Yeah, this is more just to help me stay on track with my writing. Thank you, Bear, for walking in front of the camera again. Yeah, hi. Okay. So we'll see. I think I'll make the decision later, but I have considered hiring an editor. If I do self-publish, I will definitely hire an editor. I do consider myself to be a good editor. I graduated with a bachelor's in English. Hi there. Come over here. I graduated with a bachelor's in English, and I got a master's in English, and now I'm going back for a master's in education. So I think I'm a pretty good editor and a good writer. But I think you should definitely have a second set of eyes looking over the material, and especially a professional second set of eyes to look over it. So that would also be money out of my pocket, because I could pay $3,000 for an editor to look over my work, and with no guarantee that I would actually make that money back. So yeah, the decision to self-publish will really depend on how much of a following, I guess, I get and how many people I think would buy the book. I know a lot of self-publishers start with selling their books for 99 cents, and they'll at some point put it up there for free and then go back to 99 cents, and maybe they'll work their way up to $3.99. I personally don't like the idea of that. Not that I want to do this to make money, but I think what I'm writing is valuable, and I want to treat it as valuable. And I don't like that a lot of self-publishers have to almost give it away to make sales. That doesn't instill a lot of confidence in them, that they're having to basically just $1. Give me $1 and I'll give you a book that I've worked on day in and day out to write and looked over, hired an editor to look at. It's worth more than that. And I never want to pay $1 for a book. I want to contribute to the authors. Like, I will pay you $10, $15 to buy your book because I want to support you. And so, yeah, I wouldn't want to sell my book for 99 cents. Not that I have anything against people who do. It's just not what I would want. I value my work, and I want to treat it as valuable. That's also not saying that I think I've written the best thing out there. I honestly don't know. I still haven't read through what I've written so far. I think it's good. I think it's good enough that I want to make this the first novel that I publish. But I'm not going to say that it's like on the level of Stephen King and leads you astray. It's not that level. But yeah, we'll see. I don't have to make that decision now, what to do about publishing. I will probably start making the decision towards the end of this year. So, yeah. So that is my writing update. I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to me, and I hope y'all are at least excited to hear where this book goes and that you're looking forward for the next update. Because I do promise that I will try to push more of those out and let y'all know how the writing is coming. And, maybe I'll read snippets of it in one of these videos. I might read a passage and let y'all get a taste for it. And, you can see what it is that I'm actually writing. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in. Let me know in the comments if you would like to hear me read maybe a page, maybe a paragraph of my book. I think I have talked before about what my book is about, but it is kind of medieval, kind of, lords, knights, ladies, that kind of setting. And there are not dragons. This is not a book with dragons in it. I know a lot of people like dragons, and when they think of like the medieval period, and when they think of fantasy, they're like, oh, there's got to be dragons and castles. This is not a story of dragons and castles. There are castles, and there are people who are knights and lords and ladies, but this is mostly a story about family, and there's a little bit of politics, not too much though, because I'm not that much into politics, but I do want it to be a little bit political, and I want there to be things hanging in the balance. No decision is without consequence, and I think that there's a lot in store for these characters. I think that they're going to go through some hard things and find out a lot more about themselves than they knew before. Also very important in this book is there is one character who is my favorite character, and she is a foreigner, and she comes to this family and kind of has to try and fit in with them, and she's been on the run. She's a misfit, and who she is and what her goals are kind of in question, and it kind of throws everything out of balance. But I really wanted this book to be centered on family, and so family is at the heart of it, and that is essential for them overcoming all their obstacles, is remembering that they're family and that they always have each other's backs. So, yeah. So that is, I guess, a decent light synopsis of the book without actually telling you any of the plot. But yeah, so that's going to be it for this video. Stay tuned for whatever video comes next. I haven't decided what I'm filming next, but it'll probably be next weekend, because I will try to post a video a week. Here lately, I have been posting about 2 videos a week. I'm probably going to draw that back down to 1 and just make it 1 video about every weekend. But, if I ever get bored during the middle of the week and film another video, then that'll be a bonus for y'all. So I'm going to stop this video now, and I'm going to make myself a hot cup of tea with some honey in it and sit down to write. Bear will probably fall asleep on my lap or insanely annoy me and make it very difficult to write, but I will try very hard to get some words in today and get back on track to hitting that 25,000 words by the end of January. So that 25,000 words would bring the total up to 75,000 words, which is pretty substantial. That is a lot of words. That's a lot of words. And I want the total to be around 120,000, at least for the first draft, and then I might draw that back for the second draft. That number will probably get reduced and get smaller. So the final product may only be about 100,000 words. I'm not wholly certain, but I think that's a pretty good start for a book. If you're curious, I believe 100,000 words is 400 pages, if memory serves me correctly. Don't quote me on that, but you can Google it and it'll tell you, like, it's not going to be an exact number. It's just like an estimate. I think 100,000 words is estimated for 400 pages. So that's a pretty good sized novel. Yeah. I will see you guys next time. Bye.